It got lifted up off the ground just like anti-gravity, and it was brought back down to the ground dead with precision surgery done to it. Now, somebody filmed this operation from pretty close up because, they were standing there when it was being done. In other words, this film was made because they were standing there as it was being done, and they also, when the cattle was set down, the camera was never turned off, and you could see the guy walking up to whatever it was to the cattle to show the precision surgery done on it. But we were never told why. It was just a film. Nobody expanded or asked questions. There was about 16 of us, if I remember correctly, in that room. And it was like, who's going to speak first, Well, what do you say in something like that? I mean, I don't remember any of us saying anything. I remember the first day it was like, what's this? Really? What's this all about? And we were told that this was to get us used to, in case we had to go into a bad situation. And it worked, because it kind of desensitized you to a lot of things. But you know what? I really kept my wits about me. I knew that what I was seeing was wrong. In other words, I knew in my heart it was wrong. You didn't have to have confirmation from God to know that what you were seeing was desensitizing you. So I made it to where that I cried when I went home every night. I made sure that I cried over there. I made sure I did to make sure that my emotions stayed with me.
We have this.
The other guys, I can't speak for them.
Okay. We have this here from Steve. He wants to know this. He has heard that all the so-called aliens from Greys to the Reptilians are created by an elite and top-secret agencies by the manipulation of DNA, gene splicing and dicing, and this is part of some sort of one-world government Antichrist takeover. Are they being created, do you think?
No.
They were already here?
Yeah, they already existed. They've been around since creation. I mean, since the fall of man, they've been around. You got to remember, and here's my theory on the population. And I'm going to run this by you, see what you think. And like I say, this is just a theory of mine, speculation.
Okay.
Okay, it says in the Bible that 1/3 of the angels fell with Lucifer, correct?
Okay.
So that tells us that was a specific number of angels. And I believe that there's so many people in the earth that there's only enough demons for so many people. Really? I mean, think about it. If there, in other words, the population has got bigger than the enemy, so they have to shrink it so they can keep them in control. So when they say there's about 5 billion is all they can handle, then that means there must. Is that, am I right? 5 billion. Isn't that the goal of depopulizing the earth?
Sure.
I believe that there's probably only about 3 billion demons, or maybe even 5 billion.
Yeah. Well,
but they're all demons. I want to make this clear to everybody that these reptilians, greys, and all this stuff are just all reptilians. In reality, the greys are a low-level demon. They're slaves. I know that the greys are slaves. They carry out orders. And their looks are all what they are. But they're reptilian in nature. And I don't know how they climb up in the ranks, but I think that they can move up in the rank. I really do. And I think the reptilians are the elite of the ranks. And I believe that they have to work their way up to that. But the bottom line is that the word Jesus Christ, the name of Jesus Christ, is all you need for protection, because they absolutely stop whatever they're doing at that name. I know that with all my heart. And I'm telling you with all my heart that is a fact. And I don't even really need to go into the details of how I know that. Just take my word for it, because if you don't take my word for it, you will soon, if you can stand up long enough to say it. when you see it.
Mm-hmm. I have a clip here of another way somebody else dealt with an alien encounter. So just hang on the line. I'm going to play this clip, and you can hear how they're going to handle an encounter.
Okay.
I'd like to keep this handy for close encounters.
I heard that.
It sounded to me like somebody was cocking a shotgun shell, getting ready to blast an alien.
Yeah, that's not out of the question either, because, from what I understand from the science part of it, you'd think, well, if they're spirit beings, how can you shoot them down? Well, I know how. Because I think I said in the last show, when they materialize into the natural, if you hit them, they're stuck there. They can't go back into the spirit unless they're dead. But now you're just shooting something and releasing it out of its shell, and now you can't see it. But believe me, it's still coming. That's all it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you're getting rid of an enemy that you can see and turning it invisible just so that you can't see it. That's all you're doing. Because I've seen these things, and they can't be killed. And besides that, what I just read from that agent that sent me that, and he was much higher level than CIA. I can promise you that. He was at one time an equivalent in the CIA, but he's much more higher than a CIA agent, much higher. And he just said that, they found a way to bring back soldiers to life regardless of the serious injury. Now, he didn't say, what he didn't say was they were dead and he brought them back to life. He said they just know how to bring them back regardless of the serious.
So we don't know that when they bring a dead soldier back to life, whether or not his soul comes back into his body?
Correct. I'm not convinced.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't say anything in there that convinces me. Did he, you?
Mm-hmm. No.
So you got to remember these guys, we speak to each other, and I got to sometimes correct myself because I'm used to talking in code a lot, and I say things that some people might be perplexed by, and I don't mean to, so let me apologize for that up front. And I'm trying to be as straightforward as I can. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll say things that you got to connect the dots to.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things that I said that you have to connect the dots to, and I'm hoping, because there's 12 people I'm looking for that used to be with me, and those 12 people will only know what I'm saying. Those are the only 12 people.
Lieutenant, if someone were to do a hunt for one of these underwater bases, what part of the oceans would they proceed to?
I would say near the Bahamas.
Isn't that kind of low there?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
But I would say in the Bermuda Triangle. Let me tell you about the Bermuda Triangle. That is not just an electromagnetic field. I'll say that. I'll stop it with that. And Atlantis is real.
I think old John Wayne once said, you want to kill an alien, do ya?
Yeah. Yeah. But Atlantis is real, and matter of fact, it has a big part to play in the...
Yeah. Hey, somebody wants to know, what do you think about this Planet X? Has that got anything to do with what's coming?
A lot of people talk about Planet X, and I believe there might be such a thing, but think about what it is now. What is Planet X? A dark force, isn't it? It's so black that it can be seen in the space. It's pretty black. And I do believe that it is. It could be a what do you call those things? The light can't escape. The black holes. I'm sorry. It could be a black hole.
Sure, black holes. Yeah.
It could be, and it seems that even the Bible makes reference to the Earth wobbling. And it seems like something with that much magnetic force, when it got close, would make everything go out of whack. But